Howdy and welcome to Tuesday's serving of Daily Bread. During the month of December, we are going over things associated with Christ's birth. And this week's bread is on the Incarnation. And today, we will go over the eternal Christ, life, and light. Our scripture reading is John 1, 4 and 5. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. You know, it's amazing that God continues to use humans to do His work. He employs their hands and feet, their lips, and their personalities to bear witness to His name. Although angels announced Jesus' birth to the shepherds of Bethlehem, they were not sent to introduce Him to Israel. God sent a man for that purpose, John the Baptist. In the darkness of times, God has never left Himself without a witness. The time of Christ's birth was a spiritually dark time for Israel. The last prophet, Malachi, ministered 400 years before Jesus' birth, and the prophetic voice had been silent for those centuries. Politically, the nation of Israel was under the heel of Rome. As always, there was a remnant among the Jews who were still faithful to God and expecting the Messiah. They were a minority, obscured by the deadness that prevailed in the nation's religious life. Their leaders were legalistic and used their office for personal advantage. Church history from the days of the apostles to the present shows that God's greatest moves sometimes come when things are the worst. At times, it is necessary for conditions to sink to a low level so God's people will cry out to Him for help. I believe we're in those times now. We must keep our eyes on God's power and ability, not on what we see around us. John's mission was not to call attention to himself, but to Christ. John was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. John's ministry was brief, and he did not gather followers for his own advantage. His task was to lead people to believe in Jesus. Now, I believe this is the time for the church to cry out for God's help. Now, I will be sending out some information in the next few weeks about February the 7th, 2014. It's time for the church to gather, and we're going to gather in Channelview to cry out for God's help in these last days. So be on watch for the information. Thank you, and I pray that you've enjoyed today's portion of Fresh Daily Bread. Remember, Jesus is coming back soon, and may God richly bless you today.